Hey bitches, welcome to my channel. My name is Will. How's it going? I normally have a baby in the background of my videos now, but my ring light broke, so I can't film in that corner over there. I have to film right in front of the window and rely on the natural sunlight, but I wanted to go ahead and include him briefly. Take a look at this cute little face, because hopefully you feel as disgusted as I am after I continue on with this video. I wanted to talk about a TikToker in this video. A TikToker who has stumbled into the world of YouTube and inherently thinks that because he's famous, he's above rules and he doesn't need to follow them and he can do whatever he wants and he can be a menace to society. The TikToker that I'm talking about today is Seth Shyrock. He's a relatively popular TikToker. He's 18 years old, I believe, and he mainly makes POV TikToks, which isn't my personal cup of tea, but there's nothing necessarily wrong with his POVs, despite the fact that he thinks doctors reply to their patients by saying probably not. However, he's also stumbled onto the world of YouTube, and I was disgusted by a video that I saw that he posted. I saw a very short clip of one of his YouTube videos on TikTok, and I was a little bit intrigued. The clip featured Seth at McDonald's helping customers behind the counter, and I falsely assumed that this video would be similar to a Tyler Oakley video that I watched back in 2018 where he went to his old McDonald's for the day, a video that Tyler obviously had permission from the McDonald's staff to make. I assumed that Seth was going to be doing something similar and working a McDonald's job for a day with the permission of the employees, and I honestly love watching influencers do that because they need to be humbled sometimes. A lot of influencers these days don't have to work real jobs. They just get to make their start on YouTube or on TikTok or on things like that. And I am in no way shaming people who are able to do this. It's amazing, and there's definitely a lot of work that goes into being an influencer as well. So I'm not trying to critique that in any way, shape, or form, but a lot of people don't have to deal with those stupid minimum wage jobs, customers who make you want to quit on the spot, and all the shit that goes into working a fast food job. So I kind of just love watching them eat their slice of humble pie in these types of videos. So I clicked on the video, and within 30 seconds I knew that I was very wrong about what this video was going to be. In those first 30 seconds, the video switched from funny haha to funny I want to jump in front of a bus going 60 miles per hour on the interstate. In the first 5 seconds of the video, we saw Seth being yelled at by a McDonald's manager telling him to get the fuck out of her lobby. That never can usually mean good things coming on to the video. So we get to the real introduction of the video, and Seth says that his plan is to be a fake McDonald's employee, but first he has to be a menace to society in other ways. He and one of his friends explain that they're gonna go to a military base and just see what happens when they're together and with their chaotic energy, and he drops the word fuck like 3 times within 10 seconds, just in case you forgot that he's supposed to be cool.
Somewhere in fucking New Jersey, so we're just gonna go in here and fuck around, but it's been fun as fuck. Like as you guys saw in the last video, we just click so well. When we fuck around, one thing happens, then we just feed off each other.
So fucking cool, bro. Fuck, I can fucking curse, and I'm gonna fucking curse, bro. Did you mention I'm fucking cool? You know, whatever. He's still young. I remember being 14 years old, excited to curse for the first time. I was with my friend Caitlin. We were wearing onesies and walking around her town. I found out that she cursed at home, and I had never said a curse word ever. And I was like, you know what? I can fucking curse, bitch. And I was so nervous and so excited. I felt like the cops were gonna find me and arrest me on the spot, even though all I did was say a curse word. Anyways, Seth and his friends go into this military base, and still within the first 30 seconds of the video, we see Seth getting on a disability cart that he obviously doesn't need. I know people have invisible illnesses, but Seth has never mentioned anything like that on his channel before, and he was obviously laughing at the fact that he was writing on this. And he starts mocking a lady for staring at him, saying, "Are you staring at me because I'm disabled?"
Are you staring at me because I'm disabled? Yeah, that's what I thought.
No, Seth, I'm pretty sure they're staring at you because you're being disrespectful. He obviously ditched the little cart really quickly on and chooses to terrorize the staff in other ways. He shakes a lady's hand and compliments her artwork, which was really nice, but as he's walking away, apparently he feels the need to say, "I just used the bathroom and I didn't even wash my hands." Wow, you're so hilarious, Seth. We know people love getting your shit all over themselves. Thank you for telling us. The lady is really nice though and offers him hand sanitizer, and when she's like, and you shook my hand after that, Seth attempts to gaslight her into believing that he has no idea what the fuck she's talking about.
Oh, I don't remember that.
At this point in the video, my blood is already starting to boil. I know there's gonna be some people who are gonna yell at me and say, this is top tier humor, why can't you see the humor in this? He's just fucking around. Obviously he didn't actually not wash his hands. Well, we don't know that now, do we? But fine, let's say that this is top tier humor. The video only gets worse from here. Seth goes to the electronics section and he asks his friend if he's going to buy a laptop for porn streaming right in front of the employee. His friend then starts asking the employee for the black man's discount, and when the employee says that there's no such thing, Seth then cuts in and says, oh, but if you were white, you'd get a white man's discount. The employee obviously says, no, that's not a thing here. I can only imagine how incredibly awkward the employee felt in that instance, and I hate how Seth was using race in an attempt to make the employee feel bad. It was sort of like a manipulative attempt to try and earn a discount, saying, oh, but you'd give a white man a discount. Mind you, the employee was a colored man. It wasn't a white person. So he is part of a community that faces a lot of discrimination. And I just feel like Seth was trying to bark up the wrong tree there. It's wrong in any circumstance to anybody to say that, but just the way he said it, everyone was so uncomfortable by what he was saying, and he didn't stop there. He then decides to pull up his YouTube channel on as many laptops as he can find, which is relatively harmless. I'm pretty sure we all went into the Apple store when we were younger and took selfies on their iPads. Then he and his friend proceeds to jump across all of the beds that they can find. When an employee tells them and says to please not, instead of saying, okay, I'm sorry, Seth excuses his actions by saying, oh, well, I saw the cool YouTuber pulled up on all of those screens doing this, so I thought I would want to try it too. As if the employee would then be like, oh, it's alright, 18-year-old boy who should obviously know better. Since you saw the cool YouTubers do it, I don't mind if you do this at my store. Like, what was Seth expecting here? I don't understand. Now, me and my friends obviously did love goofing off in public when we were younger, but never ever did our shenanigans involve disrespecting employees or messing up their stores. If anything, it was just humiliating ourselves. We would go in public wearing onesies or ridiculous outfits and just walk around like that. Honestly, the worst thing me and my friends have ever done in public was probably after prom. We all went to Walmart and Caitlin's boyfriend Hunter decided to ride a bike down the aisle that was already on the ground, and an employee came around the corner and told us that he wasn't going to babysit us and to get out of Walmart. And I still feel bad about it to this day. I can't imagine doing shit like this in public numerous times like Seth just did. Next, they take a trip to Starbucks where Seth apparently decides that it's free Starbucks day, and he decides to harass the employee and try to convince her to give him a free drink. Obviously, the employees working aren't oblivious to the cameraman who's standing literally right there, pointing the camera in all of their faces, panning back to Seth and his friends who are laughing their asses off, pointing back to the employee who's very uncomfortable and just trying to do her fucking job. Seth says to his friend, so what do you want? Because it's, National Starbucks Day. What do you want for free?
What do you want for free since it's National Starbucks Day?
And the employee tells them nothing is free. Seth reads off the employee's name tags and continues to harass her, saying, Emily, can't you just give me a drink on the down low? Can't you just give me something for free? And she eventually gives up and says, it's not up to me, you'd have to talk to my manager. But he keeps saying, but Emily, just on the down low, just on the down low, please, Emily. And he continually asks her until Emily gets so uncomfortable that she just walks away. And Seth and his friend think that this is hilarious. I honestly don't even have a joke to make here or anything to say because I'm disgusted by this behavior. As someone who works in the food industry, I would be so uncomfortable if someone continually was asking me for something that I was unable to do. She was obviously wiping down counters and just trying to do her job and didn't need to deal with the bullshit of these two teenage boys trying to laugh, and also on top of that having a camera shoved in her face against her consent. Just because you have that sweet TikTok clout doesn't mean you get to behave in public however you want to. Then they start literally laughing and shouting out things like, we love you, Emily, go Emily. Honestly, it gives me the vibes of like those mean girls in high school who were like, oh, Will's my best friend, we're friends, right? And did shit like that because they thought it was funny. Seth obviously is amused by his behavior and has no respect for the people in the fast food industry actually trying to do their jobs. Seth then talks to the manager, and we don't get to see a lot of their conversation, but he sort of excuses his behavior saying, "Oh, we just love Emily, we know Emily, you should give Emily a raise." And honestly, that manager should. She deserves a lot more money for having to deal with that bullshit.
We love you, Emily. Thank you. You're doing great.
Then it's time for them to head to McDonald's. I guess they have uniforms because they used to work there, so they think it's going to be funny to try and work there again. As if the McDonald's employees didn't just see the two boys pretending to hump the McDonald's sign outside of their fucking window with a cameraman filming them. What really gets me is Seth says it's time to make people smile, and he would think this was absolutely hilarious if people did this while he was working, so he's gonna go ahead and do this.
Yeah, we're trying to bring smiles to people's face, because if people did this at my job, fake employee, I'd laugh my ass off, so we're here today to do it to them.
Yet when the employees very obviously don't find this funny, Seth doesn't stop. The cameraman isn't discreet, literally, at all. He's very blatantly just standing in the lobby pointing the camera at Seth and his friend who've snuck back and are trying to work. They start insisting that they were sent from another store, but the employee catches on really quickly because she notices the cameraman in the lobby, and she starts to get angry, asking why they're filming. Seth and his friend claim that they don't know why the person is recording, but then the cameraman comes closer and obviously joins them, so it's kind of obvious what they're trying to do. The employee literally starts calling the police while Seth and his friend still continue to insist that they were sent from another store and start yelling at the employee, trying to make her feel bad by saying, "Oh, well, Jim's gonna be mad at you. This other manager from the other store is gonna be mad at you," while the employee is literally telling them to just get off of her fucking floor. When they refuse to leave, that's when the employee yells, bringing up the clip we saw within the first few seconds of the video, only causes them to laugh. And when she tries to get them out of the store, then the boys insist that she's harassing them and start screaming throughout the whole store that they're being harassed, which is a joke that I never ever ever find funny. I love dark humor, but you never joke about somebody touching you or harassing you. That crosses a line. And these boys were the ones who were harassing the employee, not the other way around. When the cops show up, the boys get away because of course they do. Why would they ever have to face any real consequences for their actions? And they decide to head to another McDonald's and wreak more havoc there. Similarly to the first one, they decide to just start working, and when the employees question them, they just pull up the bullshit excuse that they were sent from another store and refuse to leave. The manager asks them to step off the floor while they figure out who they are, and they refuse, and they just start taking cups and getting whatever they want for themselves. When the employee tells them no, they try and pull the "that's how we do it at our McDonald's, I'm sorry" card, as if the employees are that fucking stupid.
Sorry, that's
not how it works.
Oh, okay, sorry, that's how we do it at ours, sorry.
The manager says that she's calling the cops because she has a report from the cops or other McDonald's or something that they go to McDonald's and they do this shit, so she's calling the cops on them for the second time that day. This is the part of the video that's not very realistic to me, because how the fuck would they have the picture from the other McDonald's? Is there like a group chat for McDonald's reporting bullshit customers? Did the police issue a report about these workers to all the McDonald's? Are they like, hey, just in case they're going to another McDonald's, let's send them a quick text message? I don't think that's how the police system works, unless they put a general report for the whole area about these guys. Honestly, I kind of love the concept of like a group chat where you talk about crazy customers. Imagine a group chat with just all the fast food restaurants in the area talking about customers. There's a Taco Bell next to my establishment, and oh my god, I would love if there's just a group chat where you could be like, "This customer's crazy, they're headed your way. Heads up, Taco Bell, they're coming." I would love that. This part of the video isn't very realistic though. Some of the video definitely seems staged to me, but regardless, I don't like what the boys are doing, and I still find their actions disgusting regardless, and I hate the message that it sends out to people who are watching this video. Some little boy is gonna click on this and think that it's okay to act this way in public, and it's definitely not. Seth then gets a customer involved while the manager is calling the police, telling the customers that the workers are all just crazy.
We have a picture from the police department.
No, you just took that of us.
Yeah, they just took a picture of us.
You're crazy, lady.
And then start yelling at the workers for not getting orders done, saying, "Oh, well, I came here to work, now this customer isn't getting their orders," dragging this customer into it, causing people to get mad at the employees for wanting to call the cops for someone who shouldn't be in their fucking store. Then when Seth realized that he wasn't getting enough attention and knew that he would lose viewers if he didn't do something bold and dramatic really soon, he decides to storm out of the store and say, "Fuck McDonald's, fuck this," and leave. When we thought they were done, they still weren't because they have to go to another McDonald's. This time the cameraman didn't even attempt to keep his distance and instead followed them very, very closely. The manager told Seth that he couldn't work in the shoes he was wearing, which I find to be a weird critique considering he literally had like a fucking scarf tied around his head hanging in the back. But we know Seth, he has to infuriate the employees to get those views, so he can't leave. He has to put up a fight, insisting that he should stay for just a few hours, and he decides to start making a McFlurry that they don't need because he's hungry. The employee keeps trying to get him to get out, insisting that he needs to leave, he needs to get some other shoes. The manager takes the McFlurry he was making, saying we don't need that, to just put it down and get the fuck out. Seth then makes another one and says he's hungry and just needs a bite. Actual customers waiting to be helped, and he throws a tantrum when they try and get him to go into the lobby. He then involves customers once again and hops the counter when some little boys encourage him to, and continually tries to work behind the counter until the employees kick him out for a second time. But it's still not over because he still has to go to one final McDonald's because he hasn't gotten enough reactions yet. This is the first McDonald's where I actually see him do some form of work and not just immediately harass the workers. Seth and his friend must have somehow gotten behind the counter before they started filming, so at least they got a little smarter this time. Actually takes an order this time though and actually does some work.
Excuse me, what happened? What happened? Call the cops, I don't know.
Then we hear an employee ask if she can place an order, which triggers my fight or flight as an employee.
Yo, yeah, I got you.
And it makes me sad to know that the employees probably could have helped this fucking customer if they weren't so busy trying to figure out who this strange boy is who just walked behind their counter. But Seth goes to help this customer, and when she asks for hot fries, Seth decides to yell back to his employees, hot fries.
Make sure the fries are hot!
This is the small part that I saw that I thought was funny because I was under the impression that Seth would have had permission to be there, and I always like to call out when customers have a request like this to make sure the customer hears me and knows that it's not my fault if their order is fucked up. But then Seth continues to scream about the hot fries to his workers. Not even his workers, to the workers. The people who are actually doing their jobs.
Fries are hot, please, thank you. But make sure her fries are hot. She wanted hot fries. Can you hear me? Hot fries! Right here! Yeah, look at them, they're sitting there. She said hot!
One thing I cannot stand is new people bossing me around or trying to tell me shit when I obviously know what I'm doing. And especially a person who wasn't even a fucking employee. He yelled like 3 times about the hot fries, trying to get the employees riled up, trying to get the other customers riled up once again, before finally leaving the McDonald's, obviously satisfied with the content that he was able to obtain. I haven't watched any more of Seth's videos, but by the titles, I can tell that his content very similar to this, and he thinks that he's never going to have any consequences for his actions. I genuinely hope that he never has to experience actually being arrested or, you know, have charges pressed against him or more serious issues for behavior like this, and I hope that none of his fans do shit like this and face repercussions too because they saw a famous person do it and they think it's okay. Now, I will put the disclaimer that I do think a lot of this content is staged for the sake of entertainment or enjoyment. But I still don't like what he's doing, and I still don't think that it's okay. I genuinely don't understand why this type of behavior is tolerated or why people can see this and think that it's okay and something to just laugh at. He was genuinely making people uncomfortable and making people's jobs harder. If you want to be funny in public, be funny in public, but not like this. Do what me and my friends did, wear a onesie and dance around. Don't distract people who are genuinely trying to do their jobs and make them feel bad. Maybe I'm biased against this because I work fast food and I know that this wouldn't make me feel great if I was working, but basic human respect should be more well known in this world. But even before I worked fast food, this behavior never seemed right to me, and I think it's bullshit that he can get paid, he gets views and likes for making people uncomfortable. While it's not my cup of tea, his POV videos weren't hurting anything and he was doing decently for himself just doing that. He didn't need to start a YouTube channel and go in public and do this shit, he just thought it would be funny. I genuinely hope that Seth outgrows this behavior and realizes that he's not being funny, he's just being an asshole. I'm honestly so sick of the generation of influencers who has to do elaborate things like this just to get content and views. I don't mind people who have an online appearance at all, but when you're doing shit like this to get the views, it becomes disgusting and this kind of thing becomes not okay. Me and my friends can go film in public, but it's not going to be things that are hurting anybody else or distracting anyone else from doing their job or doing what they need to do for themselves. content shouldn't cross a line and make people uncomfortable, and it shouldn't exploit other people's discomfort for views. And that's why I have a problem with so many of the things that are created these days, because a lot of people are doing things only to get a reaction. They decide they're going to go out in public and do over-the-top things just to get a reaction, instead of just living their normal everyday life and happening to film the process along the way. I miss when YouTubers were just, you know, doing their normal lives, not doing things just to get views. But these days, the only thing that people care about is getting more views, so they feel like they have to do bigger, bolder things to get the views. And if something bad happens, it's okay, because it just gives them a clickbaity title. People can film their children's discomfort and use it as a clickbaity title. People can do ridiculous things and get in trouble and use that for clickbait. Basically anything these days can be used for clickbait and can be used to bring views. And even if people are disagreeing with what people are doing, then that's okay, because then they're getting views out of hate instead of like. But views are views, and that's still money going into people's bank accounts. I hate some things that this generation does, and I hope that we can create a new generation where people don't think that this shit is funny. So please, can we just learn to respect people in public and not be assholes? That would be fantastic. But that is going to be all for this video. I'll see you guys in the next. Peace out.